Hey there, everybody. Welcome, insiders. Oh, man, I love that opening. I hope you all are so excited about today's topic. Happy Wednesday to all the veterans checking in with us today. Thank you for spending some time with us. We're really excited to kick off this topic with you all. And again, just thank you for jumping on board with us. We've got a really important topic that we're going to be discussing with you today, and we'll get to that in a moment. But first, if you guys would just drop where you're from in the comment box, let us know your branch of service. Let us know your years of service. Just introduce yourselves real quick so we can actually interact with you guys. Yeah, that would be great. I'm here with the wonderful coach here on my team, Jennifer Chess. Hi, Jen. How are you?
Hey, Liv. I'm good. I'm glad to be here.
Good. Happy to have you here. And where are you checking in from today?
I am in the icy tundra of Des Moines, Iowa.
All right. Awesome. I am in the a little less icy tundra of Nashville, Tennessee. So glad to be here on board with you. Really looking forward to discussing this topic with you. Just a little bit about myself. So I spent 5 years in the Marine Corps Infantry. I left the service at 30% disabled. And I worked through the disability claims process and got myself up to 80%. And some of you may be to identify with this story as well. But at the 80% mark, I started filing claim after claim and getting denied back and forth and left and right, it felt like. And I really was spinning my wheels with the VA. And after almost probably 2 years of spinning my wheels with the VA, I got in touch with this company, VA Claims Insider, and became a client, figured out a great strategy with my coach. And within about 6 months of signing up, I was able to hit my goal of 100% permanent and total. So I am 100% disabled, fellow veteran here. And from one veteran to another, thank you all for your service. And again, thank you for your time, spending some time with us here on a Wednesday. Well, for me, Wednesday morning. So glad to be here and glad to discuss this topic of what to do when you're denied. We'll talk about those three things those three pathways that you all can take if you do find yourself in the position I was in when I was denied with my claims. So Jen, would you go ahead and introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, thank you. So again, I'm really happy to be here and talking about this topic today. It's not a dead end. You're not done until you quit. A denial doesn't mean it's over. So I'm in Des Moines, Iowa. I am a civilian. I have not served. However, I come from a strong military background. My grandfather served in World War II. My dad is a Vietnam era Marine. My father-in-law is a boots on the ground Vietnam vet, Army. I am a jarhead mom. I'm proud to say that my son is he's a machine gunner from 27 Gulf, and he was in Afghanistan and Iraq, and he is a disabled veteran. And my significant other is also a combat Marine from the Gulf War, also a disabled veteran. He is 100% P&T. Professionally, I have been in healthcare for the past 20 plus years, and most recently the past 9 years I've spent championing for private providers to provide care to veterans and making sure that the veterans that I personally was working with understood the benefits that were available to them through the VA. So I've always been a proud military family member and a champion for veterans and their benefits. And I'm really glad to be here at VA Claims Insider and working in this rewarding position, coaching vets through to their disability claims.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know what, Jen, it's awesome to have you here. You are a huge asset to this company, but more importantly, a huge asset to our organization of helping other veterans and veterans like myself. So thank you for what you have done. And I know being a mom of military members, and that's one of the hardest jobs being part of the family. So, here in the military family. So thank you for what you do, and thank you for your support to your family, and then also to our veterans here within our organization. So super happy to have you here. So thank you. Thank you. So let's see, where are we checking in from today? We got Tom, Army, 6 years. Let's see who else we have. Jonathan in Texas. What's up, guys? North Carolina checking in. Texas again. Awesome.
Monica, I see some female military veterans. Monica, 10-year Army veteran from Boston.
Love it. What's up, Monica? How's Boston? I heard you got a lot of snow. Heard you got a lot of snow. I hope you're all staying warm. Cool. Who else? Manuel from Ohio. Nice to see you. John, retired in Japan. My last deployment was Japan, so that was a good time. I hope life is treating you well over there, John. See a couple more Army. Robert, Glenn, nice to see you guys.
20 years retired, 75 to 95.
Love it. Love it. Thank you all for your service. Yeah, again, from one veteran to another, thank you all for your service. Awesome.
Monica said it's very cold and snowy.
Yeah, yes, I'm sure. Yeah. Couple Marines in the house, Semper Fi.
Yeah, Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii checking in. Love it. What's up, guys? What is going on? Hey, Christine. Got another wonderful coach in the chat box helping us out. How are you?
Rylan from our New Year's cohort.
Hey, guys. Hey, thanks again. Thanks for spending some time with us. All right, so cool. So a little bit about our company, VA Claims Insider. We match you up with an awesome coach. You guys develop a strategy together. You work on a little bit of education, and then you work on building your medical evidence for your claim, okay? We walk you through how to submit your claim, and then also preparing for your C&P preparation. We hold live classes each and every day. You're more than welcome as a client to jump on those live Zoom classes with us every day. We talk about everything from claim submissions, C&P preparation, and then as well as specialty classes, kind of like what we're discussing here today. So if you need help with your claim, if you need the help, if you were spinning your wheels like myself with the VA, underrated, frustrated, and really, really disheartened by the VA claims process, reach out, vaclaimsinsider.com. We would be thrilled to help you out, okay? We'd be thrilled to help you out and partner up with you as you submit your claim, okay? All right, so the moment you've all been waiting.
Sorry.
Right, yeah, exactly. The full-time support and then developing that strategy, absolutely. Okay, so the moment you've all been waiting for, okay? So the 3 things to do if your VA claim is denied. Okay, so let's back up a little bit. You've submitted your claim. You've received your denial letter or your denial packet in the mail. Now what? What do you do? Okay, first of all, don't panic. Take a deep breath. Dust yourself off. Get ready for a fight, okay? Because the road doesn't end there. It's not over. Okay, just because you get that denial letter in the mail, it's not over. Okay, most of us veterans know this. Okay, most raters at the VA, they do a good job. Okay, most do. Others do not. Okay, so what do we do now? It's really important that you take charge of your claim and not to trust anybody else with your claim. Okay, nobody else cares the same way you care. Okay. So you really got to take charge of that claim. And in the spirit of taking charge of that claim, you've got to understand the rating decision letter, okay? The VA has sent you that denial letter. You need to understand what's inside of that denial letter so you know how to fight it on the back end, okay? This letter consists of the 5 W's, okay? You want to verify that all the information is correct. Throughout the company here, we have seen veterans receive denial letters for other veterans. It happens. It's an error in the system and it happens, but you just want to make sure that you're verifying that all of your information is correct when you do receive that denial letter, okay? The letter starts with the decision and evaluation information. So it'll tell you whether the decision is granted, your disability is continued, or you're actually denied, okay? And then after that block, you're going to see an evidence block. Again, this is within your denial letter. Make sure that they've listed all of your evidence that you submitted with that claim, okay? Make sure they didn't skip anything. If you submitted a statement of support of claim, make sure it's listed there. If you submitted a Nexus letter, an IMO letter from a board certified doctor. Make sure it's listed there. If they skip that evidence, then you know which pathway to take, and we'll get into that in a few minutes, okay? After that, you're going to see the reasons for the decision. You want to know the why. Why was your claim denied? Okay, that way, once you figure that out, you'll understand how to fight it. Okay, the reconsideration element. Okay, we're going to say RIP. The reconsideration. We'll get to that a little bit later on as well. Once your claim has been denied, you have 3 appeal options. Okay, so we're going to go over those in a few minutes. Okay, so 3 pathways to go down. Only if you disagree with some or all of that decision. Okay, so these are the 3 pathways you're going to take. Jen, would you like to introduce the first pathway?
Your first option is going to be a higher level review. And again, reconsideration is not part of the equation anymore. So you're going to, with your coach, you're going to review the documentation and the denial letter, and you're going to look through keywords. You're going to scour that letter, and you're going to review it yourself. You received a denial letter, or you were underrated, so you can submit for a higher level review, even if you feel like you were entitled to a higher rating than you received. So more than likely, you went over the rating structure with your coach and determined kind of where you fall within the rating schedule. And you kind of had it in your mind that, it's appropriate for me to be at this level. So if you received an underrated decision, then you would want to submit for a higher level review. And typically we're going to do this between 30 and 180 days after you receive that decision. That's going to give you time to really review your own documentation and then put it together to resubmit. So it will go in as a new claim. It'll go in as a higher level review. And at that point, a senior level adjudicator will look at your claim. In the VA, they're considered a DRO, a decision review officer. So it's a higher level of rater that's going to be reviewing that documentation. And they will then use the same evidence that was initially submitted to determine if there was an error made by the previous rater. So like I said, you're not submitting new evidence. You're using the exact same documentation, supporting documentation that was submitted with your initial claim. So this is the, if you know that your evidence was right and something was missed, this is the way you're going to go with the higher level review. You're going to go online and you're going to submit a couple different pieces of documentation. One is going to be a rebuttal. There's a higher level review rebuttal template that you'll use to complete that. And then the referral form, I'm sorry, I cannot read the number that I have written in front of me. Can you tell me what that form number is, Caleb?
The form is 200996.
Okay. Yep. And then at that point, you're going to select records review only. You will have an option to select an informal phone conference, and I promise you it will delay your review dramatically. They're only reviewing the same documentation. Doing it over the phone isn't going to make it any faster, and you're not able to provide any new evidence or documentation. So it's not going to go any faster if you have a phone conference. So select the records review only. And that is how you submit your option of a higher level review using the current supporting documentation. And Caleb, if you want to go over the supplemental claim as an option.
Yeah, sure. So just a couple other things on the HLR. Remember, you have 1 year to submit your higher level review, okay, after your claim comes back denied. So just keep that date in mind, okay? So you have 1 year to submit the HLR. And remember, you cannot add new evidence, okay, that the VA doesn't already have. So just a couple key takeaways there. Yeah, so moving on to option number 2. The supplemental claim, okay? This is form 200995, okay? Generally, we're seeing these come back across the company pretty fast, within 30, maybe out to 180 days from submission. Okay, the main difference here with the supplemental claim is you can add new and relevant evidence, okay? So the VA considers new evidence as information that the VA didn't have when you originally submitted your claim. Okay, so you have to add new evidence for them to accept the supplemental claim. And relevant is defined as information that can prove or disprove something that was in your decision letter when you submitted your claim. Okay, you remember you have to submit both. Okay, so any new evidence has to be new and relevant to that condition that you were applying for. Okay, you must complete this form, the 200995 form, as well as the supplemental rebuttal template. Okay, it's recommended that you do a records review only as well. It's much faster. We're seeing these decisions come back much faster. Now, you want to file within a year of the denial, but it doesn't have that hard date like the HLR has. Okay, and you can also use the direct upload via va.gov. Okay, instead of mailing it or faxing it in, which can slow down that process, you can go ahead and direct upload it through your va.gov account. Okay. So a couple quick examples of new and relevant evidence. Okay, so let's say, for example, one, the VA denies your service connection due to no nexus. Okay, there's no nexus that you can show that exists. You can upload a new IMO letter or an in my opinion letter or a nexus letter from a board certified doctor, which will then be considered new and relevant information. Okay, so if the reason on your denial letter says no nexus exists, go out and get a nexus letter, and then you can file that supplemental claim with that new and relevant information. Okay. Example two, let's say the VA denies your service connection due to a disability that does not exist. Okay, you may then have to upload a new medical report saying that you have the actual disability that you're suffering with, with current symptoms. Okay, which would then be considered by the VA as new and relevant information. Okay. Example three, if the VA denies your service connection due to not incurred in service, you have the option to upload a buddy letter or a lay statement from a witness who is there. Okay, this lay statement or buddy letter can be filled out by somebody who's over the age of 18. Okay, and who may have been there and had witnessed you getting injured while you're in service. Okay, that would be considered new and relevant information to the VA. Okay, so just a couple examples there to make you aware of. Remember, when you get that denial letter, it's not the end of the road. Okay, there are plenty of options to go forward after that, and we just wanted to give you a couple examples going through that supplemental option. Okay, Jen, would you like to take over for option three?
Sure. So your third option, really, it still exists. You can appeal to the board. This, I'll caution you, takes 2 to 3 years. Citing COVID as a delay, citing manpower, very, very possibly could be a 2 to 3 year commitment for a decision if you do an appeal to the board. Not that it's not an option, and we don't want to discourage you if it's the appropriate option for you. Just a heads up that this is going to be a long, drawn out process. There's 3 different options when you're doing an appeal to the board. You're going to do a decision review request. You're going to submit the VA form. Can you help me with that?
Yep, 10-182.
And the board appeal template. So those are the 2 required documents that need to go with your decision review request. We do recommend that you select a direct review, so evidence review only. Again, a judge will look at the evidence that you've submitted. And if you do choose to do a video conference or a FaceTime hearing, it most definitely could take years. If you decide to participate in this appeal face-to-face, then it's definitely going to set you back on the timeline significantly. So again, we recommend that you select the direct review. And we've been, after the appeal is done, we've been seeing decisions come back in, again, 60 to 180 days. And when you're uploading to va.gov, you're going to upload as a direct upload. And that's how you're going to do all of the documents, no matter which option you're taking. And as we alluded to previously, we talked about reconsideration no longer being an option. Do you kind of want to explain why that's no longer an option, Caleb?
Yeah, reopening up your claim. Yeah. So the reconsideration, the Modernization Act was ended about a year or two ago. So once you get your denial back after going up through the appeal process, so we like to look at these as you go in order, right? So file an HLR. If that doesn't work, file a supplemental, and then go after the appeal pathway. Okay. Generally, you want to take it in that order. Okay. If you get a denial back from the appeal act, or I'm sorry, the appeal decision, you can then file a supplemental claim. You can't actually reopen a new claim. So you would open up a supplemental because you're disagreeing with the VA's decision and add new and relevant evidence. Okay. Some of that medical evidence, we can just do a quick review. So some of the evidence requirements, you want to make sure you have medical diagnosis of the disability or the condition. Okay, that's great medical evidence. Okay, most of these claims they're denied due to lack of medical evidence. So if you can tackle that with some of these recommendations, that would be a really strong move. Okay, the next piece of medical evidence, you want to have that in-service stressor event or service connection. So you want to be able to show that nexus. If you need to go out and get a nexus letter, go out and get a nexus letter and show that connection from your disability all the way up to your current symptoms today that you're suffering with. Okay. You want to have medical evidence or documentation of those current symptoms. So please make sure you're going to the doctor. Okay, so go to your VA doctor, go to your private doctor. Make sure you're getting seen for these symptoms. The VA wants to see that you're having that continuation of care. Okay, so something really important there. You always can file a new statement in support of claim. Okay, so that form 4138. And you can always add, like we mentioned earlier, a buddy letter or lay evidence. Okay. Medical research studies is recommended. And then again, that medical nexus letter is highly recommended. Okay. The VA will see that IMO letter from a board certified doctor. And that's going to give you a lot of weight going forward with your claim. Okay. I would recommend the medical nexus letter, that you go out and find that nexus letter or go out and get it, especially if you've been out of the service for more than a year or so. Okay. So just a quick summary. Remember that if you've been denied, you can file one of these three pathways. We recommend that you go in order of the HLR, supplemental, and then appeal to the board. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these questions and see
Okay,
if we can.
Caleb.
Go ahead, Jen.
I just want to touch on a couple of things. As far as the supplemental claim, if you submitted your initial claim and you did not have an IMO and a nexus, to use Caleb's term, that nexus letter is your golden ticket. That is an independent medical opinion that you've received. In most cases, it's going to be from a VA accredited provider with that nexus statement directly connecting it to either your prior condition or directly to your service. So that is your golden ticket. The VA needs that. And them seeing that nexus is it's priceless. So that being part of additional evidence that you can submit during a supplemental review. And just keep in mind that it's not over. You get denied, it's not over. It's frustrating and it's going to feel like you're taking a hit. And the VA is not going to, they're just not going to approve me. They're fighting me left and right. We're here with you and we're committed to your win. So we can rework our strategy. We can come at it from different directions. Don't quit. We're not going to quit. We'll be with you through the whole thing. Take a break if you need to, but get back up on that horse and get what you legally, ethically, and morally deserve.
That's right. That's right. Yep. Thank you, Jen. No, that's absolutely right. The fight's not over unless you say it's over. So we got a question in the chat box. I got a response from the VA, and they said the IMO conducted by a doctor was not able to be used for a decision. Why is this? And this is even true. Without looking at the letter, Roscoe, I'm not exactly sure. Look at your decision letter, your denial letter. And in this situation, I think you'd be a really good candidate for that higher level review. Submit it to that higher rater, if you will, and get a decision back from that HLR. because those IMOs they're looked at very closely, and like Jen was just saying, that should be your golden ticket for your claim. So submit the HLR. I'm pretty sure in your situation, and see what that higher level rater says. Okay.
I see two questions. I see one from John. Can HLR be filed online? Yes. Yes, you do want to file that online, and you can directly upload your, you can do it all online, and then those two required documents for the HLR will be uploaded there. And then I see Christopher, what do I need to do after denial letters were sent out years ago and I'm still messed up? Because reconsideration is no longer part of the game, you would file a new claim. Now, would that be supplemental, Caleb, or would that be a higher level review if you went after a new IMO, is what I would think if it's years ago. Yeah. I would have a new eval and have all new evidence to submit is the way I would suggest it.
Right. If it's outside of that 1 year window, we'll go for the supplemental in that case. I see a few questions where people have kind of the same theme. They're not sure about the date of their denial. If you guys have any questions specifically about your claim, you can always call the VA hotline number, the 800-827-1000 number. And over the phone, they'll be able to direct you in the right course of action, or they can even resend you those decision letters, and you'll have all the information off those decision letters, dates and specific decision pieces of information, and those pieces of information in your denial letter, if you've lost them or in a move or can't find them, the VA will resend them to you. But those decision letters are going to be gold in terms of figuring out why they denied you. So if you have to call the VA to get them to resend you those denial letters, go ahead and do that. 1-800-827-1000 and ask them to resend any and all the letters that you need. Okay.
Jeff had a letter for his claim by a certified doctor. Now, if that was considered his IMO and they provided a nexus, depending on how that was put out, you could request a higher level review on that. If it directly connected it to your service in the C&P, you felt like you had a bad exam, you have two options. So if it was within the last year, you can definitely have the evidence re-reviewed in a higher level review. Or if you had a bad exam, if you feel like you had a bad exam, you need to report that, because that's not due diligence. You need to have the eval that you deserve. But those are two options you may want to get with your coach and discuss those options, the best option for you based on your specific situation.
Yeah. And just to clarify, if you had a bad C&P, you want to make sure that you report it to the VA right away. You don't want to wait till after the decision is made, because it's already past that point. So from there on, if you have a solid IMO or Nexus letter, you want to submit that higher level review as long as you're within that 1 year window. Okay. Yeah. Leo asks a great question. How can I join Coffee with the Coaches? Jen, for a non-elite member, how do they get on with Coffee with the Coaches?
For a non-elite,
right. So we got to sign up as an elite customer, right?
You need to become an elite member. Now remember that becoming a member doesn't cost you anything. We do everything that we do, no matter how long it takes. If it takes a week, if it takes 4 months, we do what we do, and we don't take any money from you until you get your win. And it's just a portion, and it's that. Don't worry about the money. Join the club. Come hang out with the cool kids for coffee in the mornings. Come and do your coaching sessions. We are going to give you so much information. And if you walk away from what we give you and you file it on your own, if you are denied, we won't be able to, if you file on your own without using an IMO, we won't be able to have your back on it if you get a denial. But you'll have enough education and training support to basically do it on your own. I mean, we're coaching you and we're not doing it for you. You're getting the information and we're walking it through and doing it with you. We're here to support you just like actual coaches. But yeah, come hang out with the cool kids. Coffee for the coaches or with the coaches is no way I would rather start my mornings. No way. With our veterans and our coaches, the content, the conversation, it's the best way to start your day.
Yep. And so we have and we have that great network of coaches, and we all put our heads together and figure out that strategy for each and every one of our clients. So it's a great organization to be a part of. So I have a couple questions about filing within a year of which denial. Okay, the first or the second denial. You want as soon as that decision letter comes in, that starts the clock. Okay, so your year starts when that decision letter comes in. Okay. Let's see. With the supplemental claim, what's the rebuttal form number? Supplemental claim. Just double check that. So make sure we all get that clear. Okay, so that's VA form 200995. If you guys ever need Google, Google's right there too. It should pop up when you type in VA supplemental claim. Yeah, so you can definitely find that number. Yep, John asked, can the HLR be filed online? Yep, you can do a direct upload through va.gov through your account there. Yep.
Oh, I want to have Jim talk to his coach about the sleep apnea. He's been denied for sleep apnea secondary to PTSD. That's a struggle. It's always our last strategy that we want to go after, but it can get done. Again, it often will take a supplemental review or an HLR to get it done. But as long as it's legitimate, you can get your sleep apnea service connected. So stay in the fight on that, get with your coach, and work on that strategy.
Yeah, for the sleep apnea, that we see that come back. It's a little harder in some cases to get it service connected. So it's very frustrating. We have a lot of our veterans come through. They're frustrated with the same sort of situation. You're going to have to provide either new evidence if needed, or like we said, submit for the HLR within 1 year of that denial letter. So the sleep apnea fight is a tough one. We have a lot of people who are coming through who are frustrated. But it can be done for sure.
You will find that it's rarely going to be granted as secondary to PTSD. It's in the wording, but it's not going to be directly connected to the diagnosis of PTSD. It's more than that. So keep up the fight and get with your coach, and get it right, because it's worth the fight.
Jim says we did an HLR. We did the higher level review already. Okay. Yeah. So in that case, if you have new evidence to add, maybe for that situation, if somebody, I know it's been a while, you said 42 years ago. I don't know if you have anyone you're in contact with to help you out with a buddy letter. Maybe they witnessed whatever you were going through. Maybe they were there for that PTSD stressor event. And then they were there. Okay. So now it goes to appeal. Yeah. Yep. You can appeal it. If you do the direct review, the direct review, instead of choosing to go in front of a judge face to face, or now due to COVID, a lot of that's backed up and they're doing a lot more video conferences. Choose the direct review. Choose the direct review for the judge if you have you should have all your evidence. Okay.
You're taking me from 0 to 70. Leo, you're a testament. Thank you so much for posting that. And we get those increases.
Yeah.
Thank you for posting that, Leo. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, no, that's great. I love seeing those success stories.
That's great.
That's awesome. Glad I'm very happy for you as a recent 100%er. I'm really happy for you. It's life-changing right there.
Life-changing.
Yeah.
That's exactly why we do what we do.
Yeah, exactly. JR asked a great question. So he won his Q for PTSD, but felt he was underrated. Yeah, yeah. If you don't have any other evidence, you can, if you disagree with the VA, you can file that HLR. Yep, yep, for sure. Definitely a good option. Um, and one of our VCs, Tony, added, at times a new set of fresh eyes can really help your case. So you you may have submitted all the evidence that you have, and then the first decision comes back from either a junior rater or maybe somebody who's a little less experienced. Send it up for an HLR and have a senior reviewer take a look at it, and then go from there and wait on that decision. Okay. Yeah, no problem, JR. Happy to help. If you ever need us, jump on Facebook Lives again, and we'll be able to help hopefully answer more of your questions as needed. Okay. Let's see. What are the consequences? What are the consequences if a new didn't file HLR? Can I do a supplemental with recent treatments, IMOs, or buddy letters? Yep, you can file a supplemental. You have to have that new and relevant information. Okay, like we talked about. So new information that the VA didn't have the first time around when you submitted your claim. So I hope that answers your question there. Can sleep apnea be connected to SSD? What do you think, Jen?
So it, it can be. Again, relating sleep apnea to a mental condition versus a respiratory diagnosis, it's all in the wording, but loosely it can be related to SSD. You're gonna have to have likely the IMO and that nexus to put it all together. It depends on the documentation that you have. Do you want to add on that? That one's tough.
Yeah, and then you need to have that sleep study. Okay, so it's a little bit of an extra hurdle. It can be done. It can be done. Yep, for sure.
I see.
Great question, Steve.
Milton has a good question. Secondary claim put in for loss of sleep due to tinnitus. There are so many secondaries that can be related to tinnitus. It's just that 10% initial grant, but a lot of things can be directly related to tinnitus. So again, I'll refer you back to your coach to talk about your specific situation and come up with a strategy. But yeah, I mean, clearly loss of sleep is related to tinnitus. So it's
Yep.
common, and it is something that we can work on a claim for. Get with your coach.
Yep. So tinnitus is considered a low value claim, but it can be used as a gateway condition. Okay. So tinnitus is valued at 10% if you're granted it. But you can file for secondaries off of your tinnitus. You're going to need some really strong evidence. But falling asleep or having difficulty falling asleep is a very real thing. I suffer from this myself. And it's very hard to fall asleep. I have to sleep. The VA actually gave me a sound machine. I have to fall asleep with that sound machine going all night. But it does impact your life. So there are secondary claims you can file off of tinnitus for sure. For sure. Let's see.
Nathan. Nathan, sometimes we see them within days.
That's a good question, Nathan.
That is a great question. I mean, there is no rhyme or reason. There really isn't. And it's not depending on what state you're in, because there's a national queue. All of the regional offices are reviewing just the next guy in line. So I think there's no rhyme or reason. I mean, we could have one back in 3 days, and we could have one back in 90 days, 120 days. There's no way to answer that.
Yeah, Nathan, there are a lot of factors, right? It depends if you're filing one claim on its own. It depends if you're filing 4 or 5 conditions all at the same time. And it also depends on what that claim is for. If you filed a mental health claim, those generally come back a lot faster. We're seeing the VA make decisions on those a lot faster. They're generally, for C&P exams, they're generally having video conferences, and then they make their decisions fairly shortly after that, versus an in-person physical exam, let's say for your back or your knee or your feet, something along those lines. the time after the C&P exam for that decision may be a little longer as well. But also just getting that C&P exam scheduled in the first place. And then obviously in this new world with COVID, every state is opened up at different phases. So we're seeing a lot of factors come into the the time delay when decisions are being made. So it's kind of tough to say unless I knew your whole situation. But that's kind of the full broad answer there too. Let's see. Michael asked a question. My letter of intent. Okay, intent to file was submitted November 19. Submitted my claim 8/20. Had my C&P exam October. Still no decision as of today. Have received 2 letters saying that they're still working on my claim. Yep, it's normal. It's not really a good or bad signal, like I was just saying with COVID. And it depends what state you're in. The entire VA system is backlogged. I know, Jen, you can talk about this too. I know a lot of raters are even working over the weekends just to make their numbers and just to help out their veterans with their decisions, to help out with that backlog from last year, right?
Yeah, and I know that the VA raters most of the offices are on mandatory overtime and have been. Even working at home, they're getting through the claims. It's one thing that is that's a good thing is that I think since 2016 or 17, there's no more paper files. So everything is in original queue. It gets sent to the rater's laptop and they work it. So some are more backlogged than others, but that's the good thing about the national queue. If they have to do their own research, the VA does have a duty to assist. So there may be some reaching out that they have to do on your behalf at some point. So that just might slow it down. And if you, again, I think Caleb just mentioned it too, if you submitted multiple issues, multiple conditions versus one, maybe 2, that's definitely going to slow it up. That's definitely, if they have several sets of supporting documentation and records that they have to review, if you had to do, if you submitted an IMO and a Nexus, there's so much that they have to go through for one. If you kind of doubled up or tripled up, then that's really going to slow things down.
Yeah, it just creates that log jam with the VA, and it makes that rater's job a little bit harder because they have to figure out every condition that they're trying to rate you for and go through all your evidence. So if you have that really targeted approach where you're filing 1, maybe 2 claims or conditions at a time, you should get that decision back a lot faster. So let's see. I've learned a lot from VA CI live videos. So it's a very, very good place to get education for your life. Thank you so much for the shout out there. We really appreciate it. This is what we do. This is what we love to do. Is to be here for our veterans and help out in any way we can as you all tackle this VA claims process.
Coffee with the coaches. Jeff comes to coffee with the coaches.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Hey Jeff, what's up? How can I get a copy of my C&P report from the doctor so I can see what they're actually saying? If it's a private doctor, you should be able to reach out and just file a medical release form. If it's within the VA, if you download your blue button report, that will have all of your medical evidence in there as well. Jeff, I hope that answers your question. If you need to clarify,
if you had your C&P either through the VA or through a VA contractor, it'll be in your blue button report when it's updated with your claim.
Yep, exactly. Jason asked a good question. I filed sleep apnea secondary to service connection PTSD, then filed a separate claim for chronic fatigue, Gulf War presumptive. Yep. Then they combined them. Yeah. So we're talking about, it is typical that the VA will combine them. So that is right. Wait on the decision letter. I see you're waiting on the decision letter. Yeah, wait on that, and really dig into what it says and what their reasoning was. And if you disagree with it based on any of the information that you heard today, file that supplemental, or actually in the correct order, or the order that we recommend, file the higher level review without any new evidence. But if you need to add new evidence, then file a supplemental, and you can tackle it that way. Okay, if you disagree with their decision, but wait for that decision letter first and really dig into what their reasoning was. Yep. Sleep study has been completed. This is Steve's. Sleep study has been completed 9 months ago. Should I get another sleep study outside the VA to connect?
Another study to connect the SSD to the OSA, I think is what he's asking.
I think that's right. Yeah. Go ahead, Jen.
I think if you wonder if you should get the IMO, you should get the IMO. If you feel like you don't already have the documentation to strongly support a connection, get the IMO. Always opt for the IMO. Again, that is the IMO with the Nexus is your golden ticket. It directly shows connection. I'm not saying that it's 100% a win, but that is supporting evidence that can't be direct, disputed. There's a provider stating that this condition that you're claiming is directly related. That's your nexus. That's your, hey, this is related. So if you aren't sure that you have enough supporting evidence based on your medical records, your VA records, find an independent, and we connect you with our third party. Find that independent and get that nexus statement. Mm-hmm. You may not need another evaluation for the sleep study, but you do need that nexus to connect the two.
Yep. Hey, Jimmy, I see you're chiming in here. Okay, we got a Facebook user. I was denied because they couldn't validate that my PTSD was caused in combat. What now? So for PTSD, you need that for that mental health condition for PTSD. You need that in-service. We're talking about combat stressor event. Okay. What I would recommend is if you can get a hold of any of your battle buddies who are with you, and send them a buddy statement or a lay statement, and get them to spell out exactly what happened. And I would also make sure you upload your DD-214, which will list where you served, and the VA rater will have to look at that. Now, if you did all of that already, because you were denied, if you need to add that buddy letter, file the supplemental claim. If you already have a buddy letter, then file the HLR. Okay. HLR, remember, no new evidence, supplemental, adding new and relevant information or new and relevant evidence. So that buddy or lay statement could be added to that supplemental claim, and the VA will take another look at that. Okay. Hey there, boss. What's going on, Brian?
Boss.
Glad to see you here, brother. Glad to see you here. We have another user saying they just got 70% for their SSD. Only evidence was my IMO. Yep, that IMO, like Jen was already saying, is that golden ticket. If you can get that IMO from a board certified doctor, you can join our organization. We'll get you in touch with the company that we partnered with, or if your doctor will be generous enough to write you a solid Nexus letter, that will be your golden ticket. Okay, that will be your golden ticket to your claim. Okay.
Add this user. I was denied because they couldn't validate that my PTSD. Oh, I'm sorry. That below that, Marty. I filed a PTSD claim and was denied due to lack of evidence. So that, Marty, is your cue to seek out an IMO. It may not be PTSD. There may be a different factor that it might be diagnosed under. I would seek out that IMO, that golden ticket. You'll have a psych eval, you'll have another C&P, you'll have the opportunity to retell your story and have that connected. So depending on when your denial was, you can do the HLR, have it reviewed if you already believe that you have a nexus statement in your evidence. Otherwise, I would definitely seek out that IMO and resubmit.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer for this next question too. Richard has a question. Would a Nexus letter be sufficient to win a mental health claim? Yep, yep. The Nexus letter is what you need, boss. Yeah, is what you need. Uh, Paul, yeah, I agree with you. The VA isn't always yeah, is what it is. I think that we all know that without it even being said. We all understand the VA is what it is. It's a big organization, but the fight isn't over unless you say it's over. Okay, with your disability claim, they want you to self-select to tap out. Okay, they want you to get out of the process. They make it difficult. They make it frustrating. They make it confusing. Like I told you all in the opening when we started this live, I was spinning my wheels with the VA. I knew I was underrated. I was frustrated with the decision letters coming back. I filed my supplementals. I filed my HLR claims. Most of them came back denied due to lack of medical evidence. So that's why we exist as an organization, and that's why we get on these live calls with all you veterans to help point you at least in the right direction. Whether you do it on your own or whether you join us and get assigned a coach here at VA Claims Insider, we are here for you to point you in the right direction as you tackle your claims process. Okay. Hey, what's up, Steven? Increased Hunters in the house. Glad to have you, brother. Glad to see you here. Let's see. Trying to catch up here. Denied plantar fasciitis. Doctor won't write a nexus due to me not being diagnosed within 1 year of separation. I have a current diagnosis with DBQ from a private doctor and have evidence in my military records of foot pain. Yeah, go for the supplemental claim. File that new and relevant information, and go from there. Yep, yep. If you can get a buddy letter, that would be cool too. So let's see, Jonathan. I submitted a supplemental and HLR twice. Oh boy, for OSA secondary to chronic. Yep. However, VA will not accept my DBQ Nexus letter from the med team due to the VA's internal policies. Go. It sounds like, oh man, you've already been denied twice.
From an HLR, and they're not accepting new evidence because it's
not through the HLR. Yeah, they won't accept new
right. Well,
yeah, the VA cannot ignore independent evals. Okay, the tie goes to the runner, to use a baseball term. So, yeah, the tie goes to the runner. They can't ignore medical evidence. Okay, it sounds like you're a good candidate for an appeal. Take it up to the appeal. This is for Jonathan. Okay, if you've done the supplemental in the HLR, it sounds like you need to go for a records review with an appeal judge and have them look at all of your evidence. Okay, Jonathan, I hope that helps. Yep, you're still in the fight. You just have to. It sounds like you have to go the appeal route. Okay. John asked a question: Nexus letter and IMO, are they the same thing? Yeah, sorry, we use them interchangeably as synonyms. So yeah, yep. So the IMO stands for independent medical opinion, and within that letter, the nexus statement will be made. So when we're talking about that together here, yep, that's the same. Yep. Oh, Jonathan. Okay, I see. Yeah, send it up to an appeal. Send it up to an appeal. They can't ignore your information. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter where you lived. You can, yeah. Hey, Kurt brings up a good point. Call your congressman. Call the congressman in your state, and bring up. I know a lot of veterans have had to call their congressman and actually get the process moving that way. And generally, when you do that, you'll see movement. You'll see movement come up. You'll see movement on your claim move quite fast. The other thing you can do, and if one of our wonderful coaches can put this in the comment box, you can also call the White House hotline, the VA hotline. It's different than the 1000 number. Okay, so VA hotline is 1-800-827-1000. You can take it a step further and call the White House VA hotline and have it escalated. Okay, and that number is 855 948-2311. Okay, so I've actually had to use that number a couple times myself, and that, knock on wood, I was able to receive some movement, see some movement on my claim shortly after calling that number. So 855-948-2311. That's the White House VA hotline. Okay, I have it on speed dial on my phone. So, yep. So hope that helps, Jonathan. If you need to reach out, okay. Went for an increase. So this is manual. I went for I went for an increase PTSD. Did a C&P, got awarded 70 from 50. Then 2 months later, they took it back down to 50. Okay, hey, so if you get a decrease letter, you have 60 days to add new evidence. You need to get with your mental health team. You need to show that you're still seeking treatment, okay, for your mental health condition, and then upload those mental health records to stop that decrease in its tracks. Okay, but you only have 60 days to do that, so make sure you get on that. Okay, reach out to your mental health team, get some new evidence going, show that you're seeking treatment, whether you're seeking time with a counselor, whether you're seeking group therapy, and this can be done video conference too, so from the comfort of your own home. And then if you need to be taking medication, make sure you're ordering your medication and having that delivered to your house, or you're going to pick it up, whatever your situation is. But the VA needs to see that you have the continuation of care. Okay, you need to be able to show that you're still getting treated for your mental health condition. Okay. Doug brings up a great point. Make sure you give your case number for your claim when you call the White House hotline. Yep, great point. Stephen, thanks for the backup, bro. 30 days to respond, then 60 to provide the new evidence. So exactly. So 30 days to respond, acknowledge that you got their intent to decrease you, and then within 60 days, provide that new evidence. Okay. Okay, so Tom, he got his migraine service connected to his PTSDs, to his mental health condition. You get them 2 to 4 times a week. I hear you, brother. I get the same thing. I'm rated for tension headaches and migraines. Yep. Make sure you're logging everything down with the Migraine Buddy app. That's a great app. You only got 100%. Record in the Migraine Buddy app. Record 1 to 3 months of your headaches. Okay. Then download the report, and then you can upload that and file for a simple increase just for your headaches. Okay. So it sounds, and then write a new statement. Also, write a personal statement along with that Migraine Buddy app report, and file for an increase. I went from, true story, I exited the Marine Corps with 0% in headaches. I suffer from headaches 4 times a week, at least, minimum. I wake up with chronic headaches, and I go to sleep with the same headache. It almost never stops. I uploaded 3 months of logbook entries and a personal statement. And in about 2 months, I got my decision back, and they gave me 50%. So I went from 0 to 50%. If you're already service connected, that's half the battle. Okay. Provide that new personal statement along with the Migraine Buddy logbook, and file for an increase to your headaches. Okay. So that's a pretty simple move there. Okay. Good luck with that.
Want to actively be seeing your doctor or a therapist. So whether it's 3 months, 6 months, twice a week, or twice a month, you can be on meds. You don't have to be on meds, but you do need to be actively seeking treatment. If your mental health condition has worsened, then that needs to be documented. You need to be reaching out to your doctor. Hey, I need to be seen more frequently. If I'm being seen every 6 months right now, I need to be seen every 3 months, maybe once a month. But just make sure that it's documented that you're requesting help with managing that mental health condition.
We have a Facebook user saying we're gonna wrap up shortly, guys. We're running right about our hour, okay, right about the end of our time, but we'll try to squeeze in a couple more questions, okay? So what other treatments do I need for mental health besides the medication? I would reach out to your mental health provider and ask for weekly meetings, okay? Whether you decide to do group therapy, if you're open enough to do that, or just one-on-one time, but reach out to your mental health provider and seek that treatment that goes beyond the medication. Okay, so talk to your mental health provider once a week or once every other week, but as much as you need to. Okay, your situation is unique to yourself. So if you need to speak to your provider more than twice a month, then make sure you're reaching out and expressing that. Okay.
John, I think that he posted earlier that he's in Japan, so he doesn't get regular interaction with his coaches. So he's joining sessions to get his information, and it's 3 a.m. there. So thank you, John,
Thanks,
for
John.
valuing our content. Thank you for valuing our content enough to stay up with us until 3 a.m. your time.
Yep. Thanks for checking in with us. We really appreciate it. I know it's not easy going through this process, but it sounds like you're jumping through an extra hoop. Waking up in the middle of the night to join us. So you guys are so welcome. We're glad. A couple comments here. We're glad you learned a ton. Feel free to stay in this group. We have live classes every Wednesday. And with new and exciting topics that we talk about all the time. And then obviously feel free to make a comment on the board, and our coaches will reach out to you as soon as they can to try to help you navigate this claims process. Again, we know it's not easy. We know it's a struggle, again, from personal experience. But remember, it's not over unless you say it's over. Okay, so just a little encouragement there midweek, and again, from one veteran to another, thank you all for your service. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, we will see you later. Okay, stay safe, stay healthy, and thank you again for joining us. Have a great day, everybody.